Last month, Rust was released on console, and today I'm going to give you my opinion on it and whether I think it's worth buying or not. And if we're going to be talking about Rust on console, the first thing we have to mention before we can even talk about the gameplay is the fact that there's been so many blue screens. I mean, I don't know if this is a problem for Xbox too, but on PlayStation, my game has crashed so many times. And if you look at their Twitter, that you just see like 90% of the replies are just people complaining about that. So obviously people aren't happy, and you really can't blame them, because if you're going to spend $50 on a game, you expect that for the most part it doesn't have that many problems, and even if it does, that they'll be fixed within a reasonable amount of time. But it's been almost a month since the game came out, and people are still having these problems. The crashes aren't the only problem though, because whenever you're mining a rock, there's supposed to be a bright spot on there that if you hit it, you'll be able to gather materials faster. But sometimes it doesn't show up, and the only way to see it is whenever you break part of the rock, and even then you only see it for like a split second, so you just have to try to remember where it was, and that's just kind of annoying. And it's something like, yeah, it's not a huge problem, but it's kind of showing that developers don't care if that's not fixed after nearly a month of the game being out. When you're not dealing with the game crashing all the time, it can still be a lot of fun. There's some things you have to think about though, because Rust is technically a survival game, but you know, it's more PvP based than any other survival game that I know. You know, you spawn in on the beach and you're getting beat by a guy with a rock, and sometimes it could be even worse and you have a guy gunning you down with an AR. This isn't really a bad thing, because there's some people that enjoy how PvP based the game is, but if you're someone who's looking for more PvE, well, there's not really much for you, because you know, you have to, I guess, get food and water, and you have to fight off some animals who for some reason like to camp at the safe zone, but those aren't really your main problems. You know, the other players are much more of a threat than that. Something else I want to add is that this game is a lot better with friends, because first of all, everything's more fun with friends. You know, you could always just have someone to talk to and work together with when you're playing this. And you know, the problem is if you try to team up with random people that you meet in this game, well, it's probably not a good idea, because every time that I've tried to team up with people, or at least, you know, I thought they were friendly with us and they weren't going to raid us, well, the complete opposite happened. So if you were thinking about getting this game, I'd recommend waiting until a couple of your friends get it, because playing solo is tough, especially when you gotta go against a team of like 8 people. The more people you have on your team, the better chance of winning in any PvP situation. One thing that I like about the game is that it doesn't take too long to set up a decent base. I mean, as long as you know what you're doing, you can probably get a stone base up, or at least a small one, within about 30 minutes or so. And you know, even if we did get raided within a few days most of the time, you know, we probably could have done more to actually secure our base, like upgrading the roof to metal. You know, people probably saw that we had a pretty decent base set up, and you know, since we had a weak spot in the roof, they're like, well, we could probably get a decent amount of stuff in this, and it probably wouldn't be too hard to break in. So that was kind of our fault. Anyway, that's how I feel about the game so far. But the question is it actually worth buying? And in my opinion, no. Or at least not yet, because there's just too many bugs, and I think for a game to be worth $50, they have to fix those things. But other than that, I think it's a really fun game, and you know, especially if it goes on sale, it would be worth buying. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope it helped you out and make a decision if you want to buy Rust or not. And if it did, it would be cool if you could leave a like and subscribe. But you don't have to. It would just be much appreciated if you did. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.